football fans, UFL fans. How you doing today? Let's talk about my my observations of what I thought about Week 8 of the United Football League. Number one, these games were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Um, when you have three 1-7 teams in the league, you don't expect much. And I really wasn't expecting much this weekend, but to their credit, Memphis Showboats, who I thought looked like packed it in for the year the last 4 weeks, played a pretty good game against the Michigan Panthers. Now they lost, but I thought I was going to be bored there for 3 hours watching a game and wait till the other one comes on. And the second game, Houston had their best offensive performance of the year against a pretty good defense. Still lost 35-28, but that was a very entertaining game as well. Instead, it was the defense that failed Houston this time, but they're also playing probably against one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the league. So, as they say, on any given day, you never know what's going to happen. Any team could be another. Listen, I had the NBA playoff game and the NHL playoff game as a backup, just in case that game got boring, and it didn't, and which is good because the NHL game turned out to be pretty bad, and the NBA game was okay at best. A football game, listen, I know it's a biased opinion here. Football's my favorite sport, but that was a real good game. And on Sunday for the XFL rivalry week, despite the fact A.J. McCarron, Michelle Aitman, and Pearson were out for St. Louis, they still managed to beat the DC defenders who are very depleted, despite the fact they got a pretty good game from Jordan Talmud, despite the fact he threw 2 big interceptions. I heard him. But the game was good. The game went down to the end. There was, 3-4 lead changes in the game. DC showed they weren't ready to fight. They weren't going to go home quietly. But St. Louis ended up winning the game anyway, and as a result, they had to rely on Arlington to win their game to stay alive, which did not happen. But I thought Arlington would have a chance to win the game. In fact, I picked them to win. That was the only game I got wrong this weekend as far as who was going to win and who was going to lose. I thought they had a good chance against San Antonio. It didn't work out that way. The Brahmas win 20-15, so the Brahmas can clinch the last final playoff spot. 2, Birmingham is still the best team, despite the fact they might have overlooked their opponents just a little bit. Observation number 3. Now that we have our final 4 set, there isn't much drama left. Other than the fact who's going to get the game between San Antonio and St. Louis in the XFL Conference game. Now, I ain't going to lie. I want St. Louis to get the home field because they're going to draw a crowd. They're going to draw a crowd in Week 10 against San Antonio. They'll draw another, hopefully a bigger crowd for the conference game. And if they get that far, I'm hoping they make it the championship game because it's going to be in St. Louis. This is about business now, making money and so forth for the rest of the year and just looking better on television and giving everyone a pretty good feeling to end of the year. Let's see. Point number 4, I'm hoping A.J. McCarron's okay. St. Louis got away with this weekend. This week, I'm trying to remember who they play. Oh, they play Arlington on the road. I don't think they'll need McCarron for Arlington. Although Arlington played them tough the last time. I said that Arlington-St. Louis game was the best game of the year up until last week's Birmingham-St. Louis game. And they won the last second field goal. Now Arlington will be home. Can Arlington win that game if those 3 guys are out? Yeah, I think so. Arlington just invents ways to lose, but they're capable of beating that team. Number 5. I think we won't get the rains till tomorrow, but I think they're going to be pretty good since all 4 games are pretty good. The only one I am going to doubt is the game on ESPN2. The only game on ESPN2 for the year, which was Houston and Birmingham. So it's possible the most entertaining game of the weekend will get the lowest rating just because of that alone. Point number 5, I think I'm on now. I was all gun-ho for having some drama in the USFL conference, and hopefully Michigan would be able to have a chance of getting number 1 seed. But with hearing that Ford Field is not going to be available on conference weekend, and you could thank the merger and the government for slowing things up, I just want Birmingham to win it out this weekend. Birmingham, go what you gotta do, destroy your opponent, just secure the number 1 seed. For that reason. Just get it over with. I know the game's going to be played at Proactive Stadium anyway, but do it the right way so it just looks good for the league. And my final point is, other than St. Louis, the attendance still really sucks. Birmingham is now 8-0. The 2-10 defending champions could only draw just over 10,000 people at the game. As I said, the Birmingham Iron brought more fans to the game. Now, it was played early in the year when the weather was more tolerable. The weather was about 66 degrees at game time with 92% humidity. So it was humid, but the temperature wasn't that high. I mean, it was actually lower than last week's game against St. Louis, even though the humidity was lower for the St. Louis game by about 60%. St. Louis did 32,000 as usual. Great crowd. San Antonio is another one to disappoint me. The AAF, who had no advertising, no marketing. The Commanders constantly drew over 20,000 people and drew 30,000 twice. San Antonio broke out with just over 11,000 in a playoff clinching game in which they're tied for first place with St. Louis now. I don't know. Is it the time of the year? Is it the time slots? Because these teams, other than DC and St. Louis, are not drawing. Granted, San Antonio's been consistent. Birmingham's been consistent. But it's been very disappointing. I am not going to lie. I would like to see much better. I'm hoping week 10, Birmingham will have a better crowd for the final game against their conference opponent the final week, which will also be played at Proactive Stadium. I'm hoping those back-to-back games, especially the conference game, they do very well. Let's see, anything else? Well, that's about it. We're going to have a pretty much meaningless week of football this week coming up. Take a look quickly at the games coming up. The Saturday games look like they're going to be the top game. In fact, no, the Saturday games are the top games. You're going to have St. Louis at Arlington at 12 p.m., which will be an 11 a.m. game on Texas time. ABC game. That game is big to keep ahead of San Antonio. Then, of course, the game of the week at 3 p.m. Birmingham and San Antonio. That's by far the game to look for this week. It could be a preview of the championship. Birmingham looking to keep ahead and clinch the home field advantage officially. San Antonio looking to keep up with St. Louis. I am looking forward to that game. I still think Birmingham's a better team, but we'll see. And of course, the meaningless games on Sunday. Both Michigan, they'll be in Houston. They'll be trying to keep up with Birmingham. We'll see how that goes. And of course, the absolute most meaningless game of the week, DC is at Memphis. And the Sunday games will be a regional game action, which, as far as this week goes, May not be a bad idea being it's Memorial Day weekend, and let's face it, these games, maybe you can make the case for Michigan a little bit depending what happens the day before Birmingham. It's really going to mean nothing. So let me know what you think, everyone. What's your opinion? Like to know? Like and subscribe to the channel. And for the love of football, we'll talk to you later.